Hello everyone, my name is Bobmich and welcome back to some more Star Citizen. This is going to be basically like a post-CitizenCon stream because I have never been to CitizenCon before. It's probably going to be a long one, so settle in for the ride as my body tries to recover because it absolutely hates me right now after this weekend, and we'll get into some good details of what was going on. Okay, so straight from the off, I've never been to CitizenCon before. I've never been to any kind of like major bar citizens or anything like that. And going into this week was a bit difficult because on Monday, so last weekend, so moving into Monday, I had to put my cat down and I had to let my cat go. He would have been 19 next week, and Tyler was a very good friend of mine, as you can imagine, so this week kind of felt a bit hollow, and thankfully going to CitizenCon kind of turned that around for me, even though I wasn't really that excited building up to it. So as I said, I'd never been to CitizenCon before. In fact, I have never been to Manchester before, so that was an experience as well. As was driving up, I got stuck behind 3 road traffic accidents, so RTAs if you know what those are. I had got stalled for about an hour and a half in total, but I got to drive up through the Peak District. I've never been to Peak District before, I've never been through it, so it was very pretty scenery driving up, and eventually made my way to Manchester. And growing up where I have grown up and where I live right now, you could say I'm a bit of a country boy. I'm certainly in a more rural part of the country, so staying for a while in a big city is quite intense, especially considering how being there on the Friday afternoon and then into Saturday when CitizenCon itself was taking place, it is, you know, prime time for everyone going out on a Friday night and Saturday night. So just walking back through the city to the hotel after setting up on the Friday and then returning on the Saturday and then coming back absolutely shattered on the Saturday night was crazy, because just the sheer amount of people out, you know, doing their thing on a Saturday. So I should make it clear, if I hadn't before, for those who haven't gone onto my Twitter or anything like that, that whilst I was at CitizenCon, as I said in a video a while back, I was volunteering. I was doing the staff team this time. So if I can find it, because everything around here is hidden and I haven't quite finished unpacking yet, we had crew t-shirts. So this thing's going to be crinkly as all hell, so you can see we were citizens. And if I can stretch it out on the back side, it had a very cool piece of art there that's from the website. So the RSI website now is online, and the CitizenCon, no, it wasn't the, yes, it was the CitizenCon website, wasn't it, that had the dude in that suit gazing up into the void. So yes, we were given t-shirts and things. It took me ages to find my way into the venue because they weren't using a main entrance for us guys. They were using a side entrance, so I ended up doing circuits of the entire venue, which didn't help my poor feet and back. I knew I got the right place because at one point I saw Chris Roberts recording something sat down in a chair with some camera crew, and I actually saw and spoke to a couple of the guys from JRF Fabrications, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, guys, who were loading their stuff into the venue. Once I did finally find my way in, I got signed in, and we were given high-vis vests, we were given a tour of the venue, we were shown rooms we were allowed to go in, we were shown rooms we were told to stay far away from, like Chris Roberts' room. So on the upper floor where you guys who went weren't allowed, there was you know, rooms for demo crew, makeup, actors. There was obviously like a big staff canteen. We were very well looked after there. There was volunteer rooms, you know, store rooms, all that kind of gubbins that comes with a big convention. And yeah, it was just crazy. I immediately got sidled over to one side and was asked to start making swag bags that many of you might be familiar with. I have mine down here, and I'll go through all the loot and stuff that I got when I get to that bit later on. It was just so much fun watching the whole thing come together. I've done conventions in the past, so I've been on, you know, staff teams for conventions in the past with things with the Insomnia Gaming Festival, and a bit more involved with CoxCon. It's not what it sounds like, for those who don't know what it is. It's a convention for YouTubers, so we had people like Jesse Cox, Total Biscuit, Dodger, Game Grumps, Nerd Cubed, and so more just people. It was like a big meet and greet thing. And whilst that was great, they've been successful. They have been since I stopped going. If any of them are watching, I wish them all the best in the world. The production value, contrast, and the amount that was going on compared to CitizenCon was huge. Just the sheer amount of everything going on and what was being put together. The prime example was on the Friday afternoon when I saw some stands being glued together, and it wasn't like a normal table, it was like a cube with holes in it. It kind of, I ended up calling them Waffle Boards because they looked like giant black plastic waffles, and I was wondering what the hell they were doing with them. They glued these things together, put them on the floor, and then they wrapped this marquee around them. And if any of you guys are in the Star Citizen Leaks subreddit, you'll probably notice that straight away when they finished putting this thing together, they wrapped it in a banner that said the Carrack was being delayed until February, and that's what this thing was. So I thought, you know, that was a bit of a strange table for that kind of thing. As it turned out, that was a gigantic ice sculpture of the Carrack, which I'll try and put some pictures of on the screen for you all to see. So yeah, that was very. It was an alarming thing seeing the amount of production value that had gone into everything. It made me chuckle because of the fact that there were some guys who were part of the SC Leaks Discord who were probably skulking, is probably the best word to use, around the venue, around the bits that they could see to try and get pictures to upload. And we tried to keep like an eye out for them, but you can't stop them, and people are going to want to see the leaks, and you know, you can't blame them because internet spaceships. So yes, we kind of got dealt a pretty good hand on the Friday. The volunteers and I think staff had it pretty easy compared to some of the guys who were setting up in the marketplace area. I know that some of them got it cut down very close to the wire. So a few load of us left, and we went to the Bar Citizen. So that was the ticketed venue for, that was a meetup. I know Board Gamer, bless his little cotton socks, it was fantastic to meet him again, was doing some like public ones where if you didn't have a ticket you could go to the Brewdog and Peaky Blinders, and you could go and meet with more Star Citizen-y people there. Probably was a good idea because Bar Citizen was ridiculously expensive, as I'm sure he will attest to. So it was really good to see people in those. It was fantastic meeting Board again, and Kit. Hello Kit, if you do see this, it was lovely to see her again because I hadn't seen her since Insomnia. And yeah, unfortunately I left those pretty early because A, I was already tired, and B, I wanted to try and get a good night's sleep for the following morning, as I'm sure you'll imagine. So on Saturday I was in the venue by 7 o'clock in the morning, so like I said, early start, needed a good night's sleep, and we kind of got to have a bigger look at the venue, and it was fantastic. I had only seen basically what, if you'd seen those pictures from the SC Leaks guys, that, and the kind of the upper staff area and where we could go. Now I got to go and have a look round where the stage was, and I got to go and have a look round the marketplace. So the theme of the whole thing was that it was meant to look like Area 18. So they had the audio ambience from Area 18 playing over speakers, and there was a bar there that was styled like the G-Lock bar in Area 18, such to the point where they had, it looked so much like a hologram when I first saw it. I do have a video that I'll try and put up on the screen, and it looked like the hologram of the fizz can that's in Area 18. But what it actually was one of those LED fans that spins around really, really quickly and projects an image on the LEDs. But it looked so convincing when you first, you're like, hold on, we don't have hologram technology, how have they done that? Until you kind of looked at it, and it was very, very cool. Yeah, we got to explore around there. I saw the main stage. I saw a little bit of a sneaky preview of the stuff that they were showing for in one of the panels that will be coming onto YouTube. If you guys didn't watch it live, was the one that was all about Microtech. and it was showing the Pisces coming out of the Carrack and flying down to Microtech, and there was a group of us volunteers that they're going, we really should be doing something productive, but we were a bit too stuck to watching this until we managed to tear ourselves away. And there was, of course, the War Room, which is the new game mode that they're bringing in. And I got to meet and chat to some of the exhibitors, so there was loads and loads and loads of different people there. The food stalls had kind of been styled after the ones that are in Area 18, so it was like a big Benny's, there was a Torpedo Burrito, there was a pizza place there as well, there was a Saber outlet for the Star Citizen merch, so the RSR merch was there, and I got to meet the guys from JRF Fabrications, so I was talking to JR for a long time, and about the Daymar Rally trophies that they'd made. So they actually built a forge, and then like in a manic day they forged some trophies out of brass and aluminium and such for the Daymar Rally. I don't know if they've put a video up yet. I know they're going to, but he told me it's very much like idiots build forge and then spend a crazy day trying to make trophies. So I imagine that's going to be quite a fun watch when that comes out. They had built quite a lot of stuff for CitizenCon this year, so if you've followed the JRF stuff in the past, you'll note that they built the Saber Raven for one CitizenCon. I'm not sure if that was a Gamescom. And then another year they built the giant Kraken model. I later learned that had been built in the living room, which I'm sure was fun. This year they didn't do a ship. They did lots and lots of the greebles that were around for the marketplace area. So they did the desk that was on the main stage. I'll try and get a picture of that. That looked like one of the administration desks at Port Olisar. They had done a fair bit of stuff for the community booths, so lots of the desks and things in there. They had made equipment that was dotted all over the place, like there was outfit change machines. It was the one that they had there previously that they'd messed up and put graffiti all over, so they put like Battlestar Galactica references on it. It said Bad Wolf on the side and a reference to Doctor Who. It was very, very funny to go and look at. Another fun thing around the marketplace was that someone, and I can't remember, I can't recall the name of them for the life of me. There was this big discussion about turtles, and that had come up between some people who were making props and things, and that they got this massive file for the turtle when they only needed a tiny one, and someone had printed out a shed load of turtles. So the turtles that you find around Area 18 that you can pick up and throw and take onto your ship or whatever, there were loads of them printed out. I think it was, I'm not sure if it was 40 or if it was 60, but they were everywhere. They were hidden in spots all over the convention. That was relative to the marketplace. So, you know, the marketplace was a bit darker. It had smoke machines to give that effect of, you know, like a lived-in city. There was turtles everywhere. It was like turtles all the way down, as the saying goes. And people were just picking them up, just as they did in Area 18. You know, I'd seen one, and I've got pictures of it, one that I will put here that I saw on the floor. And I spotted a few others, but I kind of left them where they were. I thought, if I pick this thing up and walk away with it, I'm going to get in trouble. And it's going to, we had a staff chat going on. It's like, people are going to go, who's been picking up all these turtles? Because we thought they belonged to somebody. Turns out they were there as a bit of fun and like an Easter egg, and people were just picking them up. Yeah, so that was really fun. Rewinding it back a tad, there was just the queue, just watching everyone queuing up outside was intense as hell. Watching it sort of start at one door and then go all the way down towards like the central high street of Manchester where the trams were, then come back on itself back to the convention, and to the point where like we were okay, we need to go outside and start pre-scanning tickets before this thing gets insane. When people come in, we'll be giving out umbrellas, like Star Citizen umbrellas, to keep people dry from the rain. We got to see the ice statue get finished, so the big Carrack ice statue that, again, hopefully I'll put some pictures of. And then whilst I was doing some running, I got collared by one of the senior volunteers who said, would you like to go and test the war room, because they need to not just test the game function itself, but they need to test how they're going to do their procedure. So when they're going to let people in, they had like little tickets that gave them a time, and they just wanted to basically get that down as a procedure. So like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll come and play video games. So I got carted off down to the war room, and I got to play the new game mode. And if you didn't watch the live stream, or you didn't, you haven't read up much about it, it's called Theatres of War, and it's a phased like attack or defense, depending on what team you're on. Very much in the style of Battlefield and or Battlefront, if you played Star Wars Battlefront. So two teams trying to capture or destroy objectives, ground combat, vehicle combat, air combat, and in, because Star Citizen, space combat. And it's a lot of fun. We managed to get through to the space phase until we didn't get to finish our round, because we had to rush off and start helping let people through the door, basically, and getting tickets scanned and everything. The registration team had to go and run off and do their thing. But I came top in my team, which really surprised me, because I thought I was really shit at ground combat, but turns out I'm not that bad. It's a lot of fun. I think it needs polish. Excuse me. I think it needs polish, but as the functionality of it is at the minute, it kind of got them a little while to sort of spin it up and get it going and get everything settled in. But once it was actually running, and you were doing all the combat-y things and objectives and phases going on, I think at the point where they have it in the build at the minute, I have the impression that they had to manually trigger the phases. So they as opposed to waiting until certain objectives have been captured, I think they were doing it themselves and moving the games along. But still, there was no major breaking bugs, there was no crashes, there was no, you know, vehicles spinning into the sky or silly things like that. It worked really well. So it needs polish, and it obviously needs a fair bit more development doing to it. That's what they were doing that for. But it's going to be a really good archetype to show how that kind of potential large-scale combat over a big area will work in game in the persistent universe, especially when we get things like server meshing, where we can, you know, show how we can have 100+ players in an area, maybe even more, going into some apocalyptic battle over a little area. So it was a lot of fun. I don't know when they're going to bring it out. Obviously it still needs work, but yeah, when it does come out, no doubt I will do a video on it. There will be shenanigans with the synchronizers guys doing it. So yeah, when it comes out, I'm really looking forward to it. I have to say that I don't really play a lot of Star Marine and Arena Commander, even in synchronizers. However, when this comes in, because I adore Star Wars Battlefront 2, even though I haven't played it in a long time, very much my thing, so I can see myself playing this game mode a lot. So there we go. I've got a note thing here that I'm reading, so the next bit is loot. So now I have to go through the swag bags. So I was doing and preparing all the swag bags on the Friday with a load of other people, with quite a lot of volunteers actually, considering there was about 2,000 swag bags there. But there was a lot of other stuff there that the community area and not just the community area, but random people, you know, were giving stuff out left, right and centre. So I suppose one of the most important things is what I am wearing, and if I don't give a shout out to Eason, he will be very upset. So Eason did us some synchronizers hoodies, as you can see. We've got the Sync logo on here, we've got a CitizenCon thing here. No, other arm, because I'm looking at it in the webcam. So CitizenCon logo here, and we all have our names stretched down them, and we got some group photos with us all together. That was very, very cool. We got a photo with Chris Roberts at the end of us, with us as well. So we gave a hoodie to Chris. So we had one for Chris and one for Sandy. So hopefully Chris can take them back and distribute Sandy's. So yeah, we had a lovely hoodie. I'll go through the swag bag. So this was the swag bag, as you can see, styled in anvil. So it's like a little. It's more like a little tote bag, really. And one of the sort of the coolest things in it was you got a CitizenCon challenge coin. So you can see CitizenCon 29.49, and then on the other side CitizenCon with the Star Citizen logo. So we've got a little thing there, and I'm going to have to dig in here because I've got so much stuff from all the different things. You had a brochure, so Into the Unknown, and we weren't allowed to give the swag bags out until Chris had done his initial keynote, because this, they said, contained spoilers, so we were not allowed to hand these out until after the first keynote was done. And I'm trying to find certain things. So there was like little clues, like you can see there's a an Ursa rover roaming around on Microtech there, because the keynote obviously featured more in the second half. I think there was the Ursa rover running around, wasn't there? And of course the Pisces, which they didn't want spoiling. So the Pisces and the Carrack. Let's jump through a bit more. There's another note there on the Pisces, as you can see, and one in the Carrack's cargo bay. Witness history. This we still have to see. So I am wondering if this is like some capital ship reveal. So you can see there's a giant crow here. It's part of the in-game company, Cousin Crow's Custom Craft, which is a mouthful. To bring you something huge, visit IAE2949.com to see the future of independent enterprise revealed. and what I think this is more alluding to is something that was shown in one of the panels, which is it's almost like a bargain version of the Banu Merchantman, which is one of the Krakens, so a Drake Kraken, which can fit shops as opposed to be like an outpost for pirates. I'm sure there'll be more stuff that we can do on that later on. There is some guides to Stanton, so it's got various pages on Crusader and ArtCorp, as you can see, and Microtech. So we have a section on Microtech now, because of course we're getting Microtech coming up, and some stations. And I think the kind of big giveaway, which was obviously revealed later in the keynote, was this thing here. So we had a warning for pyro travel. So this was obviously alluding to the fact that that we thought there was going to be a jump point in the presentation somewhere, and of course we were right. So this is why we weren't allowed to give these out. And it's there's a little featurette on, when I can get it in camera, no, that way, is Banu phrases, like where is the human toilet, and things like that you try and speak in the Banu language, which I think is very cool. So that's a very cool little thing. So we've got that, the challenge coin, and you also got some stickers, if I can find them, in the giant swag bag. I haven't used them on anything yet. I don't know what I'm going to put them on. I might put them on my computer tower down there. So we've got a Hasta Ballista baby, well, and one that was themed after one of the t-shirts this year, and I'm afraid it's backwards because I haven't stuck it on anything, but it just says "Give me some space, baby," with the CitizenCon logo there. So I may put them on my tower. I might put them on my laptop actually. So that was the swag bag that you got from CitizenCon itself. Merch wise, you could buy some stuff at a shop that was styled like Saber Outlet, and in a big box here I bought myself a keyring that I'm probably not going to put on my keys because I don't want it to get damaged, but I'm probably going to put it on my bag for my laptop. So you got the thing that says "See you in the verse" and Star Citizen, and you got this amazing like presentation case, which is very, very dedicated, I think, for just a keyring. So it all fits together quite nicely like that, you see. And here's one of the umbrellas. I'm not going to open it. So the volunteers were given umbrellas as well, which I did need that on the Saturday night going back to the hotel because it was persisting it down in central Manchester. What else have we got in here? I've just got so much stuff. So there was a Whitley's Guide postcard, signed somewhat dubiously by Jax McCleary, as you can see, and then on the back it says Whitley's Guide, so it's just a lovely little postcard memento. There was a group of guys there, and I'm not sure if they were there for CIG or if they are actually an independent organisation. If they are, the amount of detail they went to, as you'll see, was insane. So they were called AdCap, which stands for Delta Consulting Aviation Products. And they had a ton of stuff that they were giving out to people. So there was like stickers, and there's a very cool like a ship checklist. So I'm going to try and hold this up to the camera so you can see. And it's like what you're meant to do before and after you take off, and combat checklists, and, you know, Discord and websites. So I'm guessing they are an individual organisation with a ship checklist and a speed conversion chart on this laminated thing here. That's fantastic and in such detail. But the coolest thing that I didn't look at until I got back home was they were giving out this book here. So this thing, so flight supplement, and Stanton and North Rochelle terminal and en route data, and lots of stuff to do with Stanton. Effective 3rd of August 2939. And what it is, I thought it was just, you know, it was going to be like an idiot's guide to something, and it kind of is, but it's a lot more clever than that. So I've just opened it on no particular page because it goes through a lot of them. But what it actually is, it's like a mini map for all the landing zones and outposts. So I think that's fantastic, and it's got pretty much every single one that's in the alpha right now, like layouts of buildings, and if it's got air traffic control and all those kinds of things. I think that's brilliant, and I'm actually going to leave that on my desk because I think it's very clever. Just all to do and meld into the lore of the game. So what else we've got? There was a little business card from the AdCap guys, and oh yes, Test Squadron were there as well in force. If my thing isn't covering it up, yeah, you can probably see that shoulder. I've got a lovely poster from those guys. They had a fantastic like flag project that they've been doing, where they've been taking it to every CitizenCon, and everyone who's in test is asked to sign this flag. So it's like they're trying to get everyone's signature from everyone who goes to CitizenCon for test. And they were giving out beer mats, and if I can find it, because it's probably going to be buried, they were giving out ye olde test bottle caps. So I thought that was really cool. What else have I got? I have my lanyard. So this isn't from any of the community teams. This is what you were given when you turned up. So when you were scanned in, you were handed a lanyard. So this is a different thing, and mine says like volunteer on it. It's got synchronized, it's got my org, it's got the chairman club thing, it's got a handle, and you get a lanyard for it. So yeah, I think that was really, really cool. And last but not least is an awesome t-shirt that I got from one of the guys from the 890 Jump Club. So they gave t-shirt there, as you can see, Jump Club. It says Star Citizen on one lapel, and then Squadron 42 on another lapel, and the old CitizenCon citizenship must be earned. And as well as that, that came with a sweet little embroidery tag. So I'm probably going to put that on a bag somewhere as well. So that was just some of the swag that I got. So as for the things that we saw at the convention itself, so the keynote and the reveal of Microtech, and what they want to do with things like server-side OCS, and the new weather dynamics, and there was just so much hype building material there again, as there has been in previous CitizenCons. But I think what's important to note this time is, apart from a couple of little hiccups that they had, it worked. It didn't crash. You know, they had some faff with the screens not being where Chris wanted, but the gameplay itself didn't break, and it showed all the mechanics and everything working really, really well, and it was brilliant. I can't wait to see more of this stuff coming, you know, in the next year. We don't know a lot of the details about when it will be coming next year, but they have said a lot of this is coming in, you know, 3.8, 3.9 going forwards. So I think it's really, really, really cool. I got to see quite a lot of the panels. I didn't watch all of them, and I didn't stay, you know, for the whole panel, because my job role as a volunteer, I joined the volunteer team quite late, so most of the major roles were taken, and a lot of it in the end I ended up being a runner and just making sure, you know, that the crew around various areas who couldn't really go and do a lot were, you know, fed and watered and looked after. So, but that does mean I did get to walk around the convention a lot and chase down turtles and speak to my organisation members and go and, you know, chase Board down whenever I could find him and say hello to other people. It was a lot of fun. It was a very excuse me, a very well executed and quite pleasant afternoon / evening. We noted in the staff chat that everything was flowing really nicely. There was no big hiccups. You know, it was great. There isn't. I don't really have a negative thing to say about it, other than that I'm really unfit and my legs and my feet hate me right now, and they did throughout the afternoon. And at the end of the evening, everyone obviously piled into the main Anvil stage to go and watch the last keynote and the reveal of the awesome jump point that looks very much like Stargate, the entry to the Pyro system, and, you know, more of the Carrack and more of the Pisces. I myself, because we couldn't find somewhere to sit in the Anvil stage. It was obviously everyone had just gone in, not even standing room only in that place at that point. So the Crosshall Theatre, which was where other panels had taken place throughout the day, they kind of sectioned that off to stop everyone going in, and it actually had CIG staff in there. So not just the CIG staff who were at the convention, as I understand, loads and loads of staff from the Wilmslow office and just, you know, friends and family members were there. And in total, I'd probably say there was about 200 people in there. It was pretty packed itself, and they had like wine and alcohol, and it was a fantastic place just to be in that little atmosphere as the culmination of what they've been doing this year came together, and they all got to sit down and watch it. They were cheering Glenn and Sam, the two people who were playing the demo in the keynote, cheering them on to make sure that they tried to get through, you know, and Sam, who was flying the Carrack, almost slipped out of the wormhole going through it, and, you know, they were cheering Glenn on to land. And they had previous troubles with the Idris in CitizenCon, I remember, where they tried to get up a ramp into it, and as the Ursa rover on Microtech in the snowy biome, it was on a very slanted mountainside, and it was trying to drive up the ramp of the Carrack. You could hear all the CNG stuff just going, oh, and then they all burst into applause as it drove in, and it didn't crash and it didn't explode, and everything was working. It was just really good fun. So yeah, I had a fantastic time. As you can see, I'm a bit out of breath. I'm tired. I'm in pain. my lower back especially, and my thighs and my feet are absolutely killing me. I'm so out of shape, but I wouldn't trade it because it's been an amazing journey. So CitizenCon is now finally over. We have the in-game version of CitizenCon now, so we have the International Aerospace Expo. I'm actually going to jump into that in a little while and hopefully try and record the day one stuff and get a bit more involved in there. See what there is to offer, see what ships they are, because I know that the Pisces is in there, so I can go and fly it and show you guys it. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So thank you for sticking with me through the CitizenCon experience. I know this has been a long one. I reckon about half an hour by the time on my thing. And yeah, I will see you in the expo and later on. Thank you for watching.